Hello, family. My name is Chris. I am your home gamer dad. And yes, it is true. The next Renegade Kickstarter for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, entitled Eternal Rangers, which does hit sometime in early 2025, will be the last release for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid from Renegade Games. This was confirmed on a stream during the Renegade RenCon on October 11th, 2024, where Scott Gaeta, Jonathan Ying, and Dan Bojanowski all basically talked about their time with Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid and the upcoming Kickstarter. So it's been a few days since that stream, and I've had some time to actually process all the information that I got from it, which was actually a lot more than you may think. Now, if you have seen that stream already, or if you're thinking about watching it and whatnot, I do have to tell you that the first 38 minutes of that hour-long stream are just the three of them reminiscing about their time with Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, kind of giving a really cool behind-the-scenes look about where the game started, some of the things that they had to go through when they first started up or whatever, changes that were made to the game along the way, ideas, thoughts, just a whole bunch of really cool, behind the curtain look at the making of Heroes of the Grid, leading us all the way up to where we are now. Guys, you have to keep in mind, this game was released on Kickstarter. The original Kickstarter for this game was in 2017. It's 2024. We're 7 years now since we've learned about this game. That's almost unheard of in the board game world. A game that's really big and popular will last 2, maybe 3 years, give or take at best. Some of the bigger name ones and everything obviously are still around and still punching out stuff and everything, but something like Heroes of the Grid, where it's a standalone game in its own right, and then them just constantly putting out expansion, standalone expansion, things like that, year after year, 1, 2, 3, pieces at a time for the past 7 years, 6 technically, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's, regardless of how you feel about the game coming to an end from a Renegade standpoint, like them stopping production on anything new outside of the new Kickstarter, it's been one heck of a ride, and we should all feel very proud that this game is as big as it is. In any event, the main thing I want to do here is just talk to you guys about some bullet points that happened during the stream, maybe clarify some things, answer some questions, things along that way, is at least from what I was seeing from the stream, what I got from it, and what I've been seeing a lot of other people talking about on the boards, on Discord or Facebook or things along that ways. If you have any questions, comments, or whatever, I'd love to hear them anyway. How you feel about this? Are you happy that it's ending? You think this is a great time for it to end? Are you extremely sad because you didn't get certain things or whatnot? Just your overall feelings and the way that this is impacting you as well. I mean, this is a great game. This is a great game. This is a great community. I love the Guardian system itself, and I'm going to get all into that a little bit later. I just want to hear what you guys have to say about this, while I also, like I said, kind of go through some bullet points from the stream. Now, once again, that first 38 minutes was pretty much nothing more than a history of Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. Once you got into the actual meat and potatoes of them talking about the Kickstarter, that's when things started really getting interesting about where they intended to end this series on. I personally think it's a huge high note and everything, but I want to hear your opinions on it as well. First and foremost, yes, again, this is the end of Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid from Renegade. After Eternal Rangers, they will no longer be producing any more new content. Obviously, they're going to sell their old stuff, but no new content from them afterwards. If you're a Power Ranger deck building player, if you're a Power Rangers RPG player, there's still stuff coming out. They did not stop those lines. Those lines are still in production. New things are going to be coming out for them, so you don't have to worry about those endings. In addition to that, Scott did mention that there will be other Power Ranger things coming out in the future as well. Heroes of the Grid may be at its end, but that doesn't mean that Power Rangers is at an end for Renegade. And that's literally a huge deal, because Hasbro owns the right to Power Rangers. They can easily just pull the plug and pull it at any time. According to Scott, Hasbro really likes what they are doing with Power Rangers and wants them to continue moving forward or whatever. They seem to have a really tight connection with Hasbro, which is amazing. Let them keep doing the Power Rangers and Transformers and G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, find other IPs as well that Hasbro has and licensed them and whatnot. So that's actually a really good thing. Yes, Heroes of the Grid doesn't happen anymore, but there's still stuff to look forward to, and that's exciting. A big question people also have is why this is happening. Why did they decide to pull the plug on Heroes of the Grid? There was no official answer within the stream, but I do have a few theories behind it. First one actually happens to be Hasbro itself. They dictate what it is that pretty much Renegade can do with the IP. And as somebody who used to work for a company that I worked with Marvel, I worked with DC, I worked with, a bunch of different, big name companies that works with various IPs. They are very particular and very specific about what it is that they want the companies to do with whatever IPs that they give them. And even if Hasbro likes certain things that Renegade is doing, they may not fully support other stuff. So I don't think they don't like Heroes of the Grid, but they just want to see other things coming out as well. Another reason I think they did this decision, because it's just been that long. I mean, it's crazy when you listen to the behind the scenes. Jonathan actually makes a comment where before they even did the initial Kickstarter, the very, very first Kickstarter for Heroes of the Grid, he had planned out a year's worth of releases for this game. He had the main game itself and then a whole list of releases and everything that he was going to do to really make this game strong for the first year. Every single thing he planned out for that year was in the Kickstarter. So that would be the Green with Evil, the White Light, the Villain Pack 1, the Shattered Grid. That's four big expansions that he had planned to release over the year after Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid was released, all coming out at the same time anyway, because that's just how much of a big deal the fans made out of it. And it really was. So then it's just every year, more and more and more and more. And eventually it does get tiring. Power Rangers is long. The show itself has been on for 31 years, not counting comic books and other sources and whatnot. So I think it's just been a lot for them to deal with, and they needed to just pump the brakes and saying, all right, we've done a lot. Now it's your turn. And I'll go over that in a little bit, what I mean by that. Another reason, at least in my opinion, that I think that this is happening is actually, believe it or not, Heroescape. Heroescape is becoming huge for Renegade, and that's awesome. I haven't played it. I know that Heroescape is getting this huge following behind it and everything. And quite frankly, it looks like a cool game. I just don't have the time or the money or whatever to invest into something this big. I mean, you look at the Renegade website, there's got to be 8 or 9 just different pre-orders for Heroescape alone. During RenCon, it had its own segment. Now, I know Heroes of the Grid did too, but it was more or less just a teaser for the Kickstarter and a way of just informing the fans about why, about the whole thing ending. But Heroescape is here's what's coming, here's what's coming, here's what's coming. It's huge. And I think that they're putting Renegade's putting a lot of their effort into Heroescape, which is of course minis and, building of a world and characters and things along that ways. It's just a lot of manpower going into that. A lot of manpower going into their RPGs. They have a lot of really big lines right now. And the Guardian system itself it's actually another reason why I don't think it's doing that well financially. I don't think people are buying it as much as they used to several years ago. And it's because of Heroescape doing as well as it is. Great, wonderful. Again, I'm really, really happy for that. But I don't think Mission Critical is selling very well. I don't think Heroes of the Grid is selling as well as it used to. So again, it's a financial reason to be all right, we can't be making new ones or putting manpower into making new ones of these anymore. We just gotta let go with what we have and go out there, which unfortunately I believe as well. And I read this on a Discard, and I actually kind of do too. And this is one of the things that makes me sad. I think the Guardian system is dead. I don't think they're going to be making anything new for the Guardian system at all. No more Mission Critical. I've been begging for a Transformers Guardian system game. I honestly don't think it's going to happen going forward. But again, let's take all that negativity and all that sadness and all of that, a way that it makes us feel, sad on the inside, and find a way to bring it out and turn it into something positive, because this Kickstarter is going to be a huge deal. Okay. So now I get to talk about the Kickstarter a little bit, or at least from what I got from the last, 22 minutes of their stream. Number one, the Kickstarter will go live in Q1 2025. I'm predicting January. maybe like the middle to the end of January, it will go live, because they're shooting for everything that's going to be within that Kickstarter to be shipped out by the end of 2025. So by the end of 2025, you're going to have the massive amount of stuff from that Kickstarter. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be massive. However, the big thing that was first mentioned, besides just when it was coming, was this thing called the Creation Kit. Scott and Dan pretty much are using this as the reasoning why it's called Eternal Rangers. It's not so much having to do with what Rangers are going to be part of it. It has to do with what we as the fans do with it after it is done. This game will eternally live on through us, because this Creation Kit is going to give us things like notes, strategies, balancing, all types of stuff that Jonathan Ying wrote down and figured out and like planned and used to work on all of his Rangers and monsters and whatnot through his course of designing Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. This kit is going to be handed over to us, and that is going to be amazing. I'm pretty sure we're going to get like card layouts and things along that ways too. So this way we can then create Rangers that are not in the game anymore, so we can complete teams that are favorites that are not there. I really hope Jungle Fury is in this, but if not, I can now create it. We can also go back and recreate older ones into maybe different versions. We can now also take things from other universes and put it in there. People have been asking for the Ninja Turtles forever because they fought alongside in space, and then there was a whole comic book series where the Turtles actually were able to morph and everything. Like, people will be able to use this Creation Kit to make them. You can also make monsters as well, and I assume bosses and probably Nemesis figures, because it's kind of all the same thing anyway. So you want to have just unlimited Monster of the Week going up again and again and again, you can make it. And I think that's one of the biggest positive things that's going to come out of this Kickstarter is this Creation Kit, because it's going to give the power to the fans in order to create anything they want, to make sure this game lives on forever, and to show that we will be interested in it from now until eternity, which is going to be awesome. So after they finished talking about that, or at least to the effect that they could, they went into some reveals. Now, this was pretty much just a teaser for the Kickstarter. We got a lot of information and a lot of stuff that we could see, but a lot of it's very, very, very speculative in terms of like what each is going to be, what they're going to do, and things along that way. So let's first start with, we saw Master Zed, which was Lord Zed's final form from Cosmic Fury. And I think he looks awesome. Oh my God, he looks so cool with his cards, and you will see his sculpt in a moment. Like, it looks so awesome. But he was shown also alongside Ollie in his evil Dino Fury Blue mode. And Jonathan mentioned on this stream, they haven't had an evil Blue Ranger yet. See, even he forgets about Kia. Sorry, Kia. I know I did too, but I remembered you when I did it and whatnot. It's just what it is. But yeah, so we have Evil Blue Fury and Master Zed. We saw their sculpts a little bit later. There was even a card that was shown at one point that had like a split down the middle, where it showed like good Ollie on one side and evil Ollie on the other. And Jonathan did mention how Light and Darkness was one of his favorite sets that was released. He loved the duality of certain characters in it. And Ollie is definitely one of those characters. You know, he was good through all of Dino Fury, and then he turned to the bad side in, Cosmic Fury. So do we think that we're going to get a good Dino Fury Blue Ranger? Maybe, possibly. It was not confirmed. So we got to just keep that in mind as well as I go over these. We also had an image of Ollie fighting Amelia, which is the Cosmic Fury Red Ranger. Now, again, these are all images that go on cards to represent attacks and various other things that, you know, the character can do. That could either be evil Dino Fury Blue card or red Cosmic Ranger card. We know we're getting Ollie as bad because we have sculpts and everything and plenty of cards to show it. That's the only card that we have that shows Amelia on it. So maybe we're going to get her as a character. Maybe we're not. We don't know for sure. But moving on to stuff that we have more positive confirmation on. There was this page that had 7 character cards and 3 battle cards on it. And if you look at those 7 character cards, the first thing you're going to notice is all 5 Mystic Force Rangers, which is great because we have Udana and we have Lianbo. The Solar Ranger needs to be there, Solaris Ranger or whatever it is, you know, our awesome train conductor with the power of the sun in my hand. He needs to be there for sure. Mystic Force is one of, I'm thinking of Jungle Fury. Mystic Force is another one of my favorite seasons and one that I've been like campaigning for a while. Apparently, well, Jonathan's too, according to the stream. He was so excited to be able to finally bring this team there. And he loves the fact that they all have capes. I love the fact that they have capes. I don't care what Edna Mode says. I think the capes are awesome. It's fine. But having that full team released during the Kickstarter is awesome. I think that is going to be absolutely amazing and fantastic. I can't wait to see what they do. In addition to that, we got 2 surprises from that list as well. Adam Parks in his black Ninjetti. It's the Ninjetti Rangers is technically what they are called. I don't know if they're going to just list them as the Ninja Ranger or whatever, but this was during like season 3 when they got their Ninjetti powers, and before they morphed into their, the suits, they would also do Ninjetti power, usually to fight the Tengas, and they would get into like their ninja full headgear or whatever and whatnot. And Adam Parks being not only the greatest ranger of all time, sorry Tommy, but that's what I'm sticking with, but also one of Jonathan Ying's favorite rangers of all time, just makes sense that he is there as the Black Ninja Ranger, Black Ninja Ranger, whatever. It's also good to note that we have not had one of these Ninjetti Rangers before. This is the first time we're having one of these. Jonathan did say he wanted to have at least one representation of every team within the scope of the game. And at the end of this, he says he's going to have that covered. And then we see Zenith Ranger on the bottom, which is the other big reveal right there, showing Cosmic Fury representation. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't get the red Cosmic Fury Ranger. I hope we get a bunch of Cosmic Fury Rangers. I hope we get the orange one, because we need more orange Rangers in our team. Things along that ways. But Zaito will be there in his Cosmic Fury form as well, which is really cool because I'd love to see what crazy superpowers he is going to have. Moving on, we did have a Zord reveal. Now, Jonathan didn't say anything about the name of it or, pointing out or whatnot, but come on, we're all Power Ranger fans out there. We know what this is. This is Mountain Blaster, which is the blue Turbo Zord, which is interesting because it's not Storm Blaster, I believe it was. And that was like you had the Lightning Cruiser, which was a completely separate vehicle compared to Red Lightning, which was the actual Turbo Zord. And that's the same thing with Storm Blaster and Mountain Blaster, which is very weird. Like, you gotta look that up. It's so weird the way that they have those two things separated. But just because we see Mountain Blaster, I'm pretty sure then we are gonna see Justin in there. So it's almost a guarantee that Justin is gonna be a character from this as well. And this is all part of the initial set of characters that we are going to see when this Kickstarter launches. And lastly, I just want to point out the last set of sculpts that we saw on the stream as well. The Death Ranger, which was an evil version from the Solar Rangers, if I'm not mistaken, or was he an Omega Ranger? I honestly don't remember. I know that it's part of that like pseudo storyline out there, Solar Rangers, Omega Rangers, things like that. I've heard of the Death Ranger. I've seen him. I've seen his images, but I don't know much about his story. I'd love to learn more once the character comes out, but that is strictly from the comic. Same thing for this new version of Drakon, which is like Drakon Final Form, XO3, or I don't know. I've seen so many different names for whatever that Drakon is, but that Drakon looks terrifying. Like I'm telling you right now, Drakon and Death Ranger are going to be terrifying bosses. They're not monsters. I'm telling you right now, they're not monsters. I think even Jonathan said the word boss as he was showing them off. But yeah, they're going to be super terrifying characters to play against. And I can't wait to see what they do. So this Kickstarter, Eternal Rangers, is going to feature 18 unique characters. Now, we've already been shown 12 of them. Maybe 14-ish or so, because you got to remember, you have Master Zed, you have Evil Dino Fury Blue, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Mystic Force, Black Ninja Ranger, Zenith Ranger. He's a Zord, so I'm going to say Justin. I'm going to almost say Justin is a guarantee at this point. Death Ranger, and then the new Drakon. You might have good Ollie, and you might have Cosmic Fury Red. So these last two are kind of a might. But even if they are, that's still 4 more characters, 4 to 6 characters that have not been revealed yet that are just going to be part of the Kickstarter. Some way, somehow, these are like the initial parts. You go in, you put down your money, you know you're getting these 18 characters. I think somewhere I read said like over 200 cards, which mathing it out and everything means that there's more cards than there should be for characters. So I'm hoping maybe there's even more of like Forever Colors in there as well. Give me a Forever Yellow with it. Give me more Arsenal cards. They also said during the stream that there's going to be new Mastermind mode cards and everything, which I really don't care about because I think No, I've never played it. I have never played Mastermind mode in my entire life using this game. I've used the board. You guys have seen me use the board in sessions, but I've never actually played Mastermind mode. So having those cards are kind of a meh to me. I'd rather have more Arsenal cards and more Forever color cards. That doesn't mean that it's not possible for this Kickstarter. Stretch goals, my friends. They are going to be part of the Kickstarter for Eternal Rangers, and I think that is going to be amazing. Now, for someone like me, I do appreciate the Kickstarters that are just, you get what you get and everything, but Kickstarter stretch goals are just so much fun. I love watching them unlock. I love watching what the next thing could be, and then if it's something really cool, like, come on, guys, we just need a little bit more to pop it up and everything. And I know it's just a way of just getting people to spend more money and like really push in their funds and whatnot to it, but it's just so exciting to see. Like, that first Kickstarter. It was so cool watching everything unlock, and you saw Goldar unlock, Lauren at the end and everything. It was just so cool. But the stretch goals for this are different and separate from the 18 initial characters. So if you're satisfied with the initial 18 characters, the cards, and just whatever the Kickstarter is as, a base level, getting a whole ton of Kickstarter stretch goals is even more exciting. What are those stretch goals going to be? We don't know. They were very, very vague about a lot of stuff going into the stream about it. I think there's going to be some fan input, I guess you can say, about stretch goals, about characters that they want to see, about characters they would like to see, as opposed to others. Things that I would love to see in the stretch goals, if they're not already a part of the last 4 to 6 that we didn't see already. Gem and Gemma, 100%. We need Gem and Gemma. We need Omega Ranger Sam for SPD. We need those 3, and we need the Solar Ranger. Those 4 characters have to be part of this Kickstarter in some way, shape, and form to complete those teams. I need those teams completed so badly. There's piece upgrades. Well, they were talking about maybe new power boards with different designs on them, things like that. I wouldn't mind even alternate cards and whatever, alternate art cards for the T-Rex, your initial 5 Zords or things along that way. I don't know. There's so many different ideas and everything that could go into the stretch goal. I'd love to hear what some of yours are as well. What would you love to see as a stretch goal for Eternal Rangers? Let me know what you thought of that down in the comment section below, what you would like to see hopefully pop up along the way. It could be literally anything, including what a lot of people want is a massive storage box for everything. That would be insane. Because, I mean, if they're saying that this is the end, then that's all the pieces they have. They can make a storage box that should hypothetically fit everything. God, geez, that's going to be... I don't have the Zordon Dice Tower, but that's going to be a lot of stuff. Of course, I would love Jungle Fury and everything a part of that. If there's one hidden team that you would find through the stretch goals or something like that. Another mega figure, Scorpina mega figure would be awesome. But ultimately, my main thing is, yes, I want to know what's offered, but I want to know what's in that creation kit. That is my number one want to know, would love to know, and kind of figure out a way in order to use that going forward, because that, again, is what Eternal Rangers is all about. It's all about passing the torch on to us, passing it from Renegade to our hands, making sure that we're the ones that are going to keep this game alive. We're the ones that are going to keep it, going forward and everything, no matter what it is. And if you're a G.I. Joe fan, then use it for your own mission critical stuff. If you're a Transformers fan, make your own Guardian system for Transformers. I think that the sky's the limit once we get this creation kit, because then it is on our hands in order to make things for ourselves. Yes, I would love to have seen an official release from Renegade in regards to all this, but you take what you can get, you do what you do, and we move forward with it. And I think that in its own right is the silver lining, is the positive output for all this. And I think Renegade is doing a fantastic job at conveying all that to us through this Kickstarter, through their messaging, through that stream, and just through everything else that they put out. Final thing I just want to say, how is it going to affect this channel? Honestly, it's not. I mean, as far as breakdowns go, I still have a lot of villains to break down. I still haven't broken down RPM with obviously Mystic Force coming out. I'd love to be able to do those. There's a ton of extra Rangers with all that stuff. Many monsters, session-wise. Sessions are unlimited when it comes to Heroes of the Grid because you can do a vast amount of combinations of like all the different enemies and monsters and things along like that together. Plus there's a scenario books if I want something a little more structured right in front of that. I think Jonathan said he's still going to keep putting out scenarios in the future. Maybe, I'm not too sure. I can always purchase Mission Critical and dive into that. There's a ton that I can cover from that as well. Like there's still going to be plenty of Guardian System games that I'm going to be putting out every month or so, give or take, of what's going to happen in my life within the next few months anyway, going forward for this channel. So honestly, it doesn't really affect me much at all. At first, I was really sad and really upset about hearing about this and everything. But again, the more I stewed on it, the more I thought about it, and the more I really understood about why this is happening, the more I've come to terms with it, and the more I'm on board with it, actually. I'm all with them, and I'm all okay with it and whatnot. I want to see what new stuff you have as well. Renegade, I've worked with you guys before. I'd love to take the opportunity again, if anybody out there is watching from this. Anything you have, I'd love to be able to show off and whatnot, play for you guys, because as a Power Ranger fan, as a Transformer fan, as a G.I. Joe fan of the 80s and 90s, I am here for it all, for you guys. And it's just, I love it. It's amazing. But with that all said and done, I once again ask you guys, what do you think of this whole announcement that Renegade had? I would assume you're probably excited for Eternal Rangers if you're watching this, but again, love to hear your thoughts behind it as well. Who are you hoping to see? What are you hoping to get out of it and whatnot? Are you looking forward to the creation kit as well to make your own stuff? Or is this just going to be something maybe you'll see if somebody else makes something cool, you'll get that or whatnot? Again, I have no idea what this kit is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be part of or how they're going to incorporate it in, but either way, I think it's going to be awesome. So I'd love to hear all of your thoughts and comments and everything down below. And if you have any additional questions about the stream as well, leave them down there. I'll see what I can do about answering them, or anybody out there watching this can answer them as well. You know, our community is amazing. We do come together quite often and help each other on the Discord, on Facebook, all over the place. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to continue this even further, regardless of it ending technically, because again, it's in our hands and this is what we're going to do with it. I, for one, am never going to let this die. That means in order not to miss any future Power Rangers action, whatever it may be that I put out on this channel, or other fun videos for you to enjoy with my final girl. I love my Avatar The Last Airbender thing. I can't wait to continue on through that. All of my other one-shot videos and things like that. You know, there's so many great things on this channel in addition to my Power Rangers stuff. Guys should definitely check those out. And to make sure you don't miss any of it, be sure you are subscribed to the Home Gamer Dad. As I always say, there are ways to support the channel down in the description section below, but as always, your view, your like, your comments, your subscribing, sharing this video wherever you wish to do it, that is really what helps the channel grow, to give me the ability to do stuff for you long into the future, and just have a great time interacting with you all, talking with you guys, and really sharing our love and passion for the game, for the IP, just for all of that stuff from now through eternity and whatnot. So thank you all again. You have been amazing. Take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together, Eternal Rangers, one and all. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger. Rangers forever. We have so many different things that we say about Rangers at the end, but the one thing that always comes down to it is you guys got to take care, and may the power protect you. I'll see you all in the next one.